I know this was a beneficial little break for the guys in terms of getting to step away, get some rest, get some time on the training ground. But now that it's been 2 weeks, do you get the sense guys are pretty eager to get to Saturday and get back out and put a good performance together?
Yeah, obviously the last feeling we had at home wasn't a good one, and they have a chance now to make it right, one game at a time. So our mindset's very much, one game at a time, and throwing ourselves, into this match to get the win, and really thinking about nothing else. I stay in a very simple box, and I've done this a long time, and I don't leave that box. And that box is about process and preparing the team, and nothing else do I think about or worry about or wonder about or talk about.
I know Kurt talks on Monday about the need to obviously be better at home. The road record's been pretty good this year, but just needs to be a little bit better at home. So how important is this game Saturday to sort of reestablish that tone at home with 10 more games left in the season?
Yeah, I agree with Kurt 100%. We have to be, results don't lie. The results at home haven't been good enough. Feel like we've played well and we've been in position to win at home. A lot of times, and we just haven't gotten it done. So for me, it's less about what we're going to do to start the game. Again, I think we've shown most games, not every game, that the guys are prepared. They're ready. They're ready mentally. They're organized. But then when the game changes and adjustments happen and goals happen, what is our mentality like from there in handling the ups and downs of a soccer game? So I think for me that's going to be the key, is having a 90 plus minute performance. And I've said it, most games, we're in good positions to score, and the opponent isn't in a ton of positions to score. That's what you want, but in the end it's going to come down to those moments and the players making plays in the boxes on both sides of the ball.
And Brian Ceballos is available again for Saturday. Can you talk just a little bit about what a player like him brings to the back line?
Yeah, Brian's quietly had a pretty solid year, in my opinion. Again, there are a lot of things to poke holes in this year, but, we have 8 clean sheets, right? It's 2 away from, I think, the club record, I believe. He's been a big part of that. He's very consistent, in his play. Athletic, good in duels, all the things I've said all year. But, I really like his consistent mindset to compete, and he wants to win. And he, most games does a great job of helping our team be in a position to win.
We'll go to Frank DeLappa on Zoom. Frank?
Good. Hi, Caleb. Bringing in Matt Turner, a goalkeeper, obviously can strengthen the defense, but also can be interpreted as a vote of confidence in the forwards. So the question is that accurate? And if so, are you confident strikers will start, coming close to reaching expectations?
Again, I've said it. I think in most games we're there to win the game. So in those moments where we should score or where we should stop a goal, we have to be better. Some of that is confidence, for sure, but it's quality, and we have players in those moments in the attack that have shown that they have that quality. But it goes back to, again, the consistency. So they have to show it consistently, game after game, and same with the defensive side. There's a lot of little moments and plays recently where we need to do better. So for me, Turner, he hopefully sways the margins a little bit with his confidence, especially, and his experience at the highest level. And he's won a lot of games at Gillette Stadium, so that doesn't hurt, as well.
We can close here with Seth. Seth, you're unmuted now.
Coach, you obviously had that good run of form where you had 9 games unbeaten. Does that give you a little bit of confidence that if you start to get things right, that you get hot at the end of the season here?
Yeah, I think if you ask anybody in the locker room, they all believe that we still have a chance to make the playoffs. They understand that we've got a lot of work to do. They understand that we have to win the next game. So, I've been getting the question a lot about the players. How are they? How are the energy? The players are very bought in. Their energy is excellent. They're working extremely hard. But we do have to fight a little bit human nature when things aren't going your way, and that's not because they have bad attitudes or because they don't want to work hard or because they want to lose confidence. But sometimes when you're not getting results, just the brain and the human nature kicks in and you lose a little bit of confidence and you can get frustrated. But we have a great group and I'm very confident that they're prepared and that they're ready to tackle, the end of the year one game at a time, because we can't worry about anything but this next game. And obviously we understand that in this league things can change quickly, and teams get on runs. They get on runs, and I don't need to rattle off all the examples of teams that have gotten hot at the end of the year, but there are a million examples of teams that have gotten hot at the end of the year, and those are usually the most dangerous teams.
Thank you, Caleb.
Matt, obviously it's a long 34-game season. You guys went through a grueling stretch of games in July. So how valuable, beneficial was this last 2-week period or so to maybe step away a little bit and try to get yourselves right for these last 10 games of the season?
Absolutely. It's been a long season so far, but with 10 games to go, to have 2 full weeks to prep ourselves and find that right formula to get us back on track. These obviously the last 10 games are massive for us. We want to make a push for the playoffs, and we still have that opportunity.
You've got a new face, but a familiar face joining the group for that stretch run. You're one of the few guys here who knows Matt from his previous time with the Reds. I'm wondering what it is he adds to the group really off the field, just in terms of being sort of another leadership voice and sort of a positive presence around the team.
Yeah, I think you hit it perfectly. Another positive voice, a leader, somebody that we relied on heavily through those seasons that when he was here. He came up big in multiple games for us and nearly won us a couple games just single-handedly. So he's somebody that we can count on. Obviously, I talked to him yesterday. It feels a little weird to see him back in the locker room, but it's great to have him here. I'm looking forward for him to step up for us again.
Can you talk just a little bit about some of the key things that the team is focused on this week as you guys prepare for DC?
Yeah, we focused a lot on ourselves. Again, we have 10 games to go, where if we can just hone in on what we're really good at and focus on those things, I think we still have a lot of talent in this team and a lot of experience. And yes, again, it's been a tough season, but we have 10 games to go and we need to stick together, and we have an opportunity still to make playoffs.
Frank, you're unmuted now. Frank?
Good. Hey, Matt, just a little more on Matt Turner coming back. It's not often that a Revolution player returns to the team in his prime. So what does he specifically bring to this team that might have been lacking?
I think lacking, I think, we've been in that position pretty solid all season. But yeah, Matty's a player that, he plays with the national team. He's played over in Europe. He has a lot of experience that, he can bring to this group. I think he's very positive in his play, and again, I think he's somebody that makes big-time saves. He's continually done that over his career. That's what I remember most about him. But then also just in the locker room, he's a great guy to have. He brings a lot of energy, and I think that's what's going to help us the most, that energy, that positivity.
Seth, you're unmuted now. Seth?
Hi, Matt. Thanks for taking the time. Caleb talked about how there's still positivity within training and energy within training. Can you talk about how do you keep that going even during a tough spell? And also, fans are frustrated at this point. Do you understand the frustration of fans during this last run?
Yeah, I see where they're coming from. I'm frustrated myself. It's not the season I envisioned. It's not the season that I'm sure the entire front office, the coaching staff, the ownership envisioned. But at the end of the day, I don't want to dwell on what's happened. There's still an opportunity, 10 games to go. All we can focus on is DC. That's all we can control at the moment, and to find a way to get 3 points and then just go from there. I don't want to dive into it too much. Yes, we're all frustrated, but we still have to stick together, back each other, and find a way to win.
We have one more from Sam. Sam, you're unmuted now.
Hello, Matt. Hope you're doing well. And, kind of just sticking on the positivity, you seem to build a close relationship with Andrew Farrell. I'd love to just, kind of talk about what it's been, have you talk about what it's been like to get to know him more. And also, too, just even in his current role, just how important is he to the team, whether he provides, the locker room atmosphere or just guidance elsewhere.
Yeah, I think you hit it perfectly. He's somebody that you want to have in your locker room. He's a great guy to have, just brings a ton of energy, and he motivates guys on the field. He motivates me. Even when he's not playing and maybe he's not in the roster, he still brings that energy somehow, and it's infectious. So to have him, he's someone I've grown really close to. He's very close to my family. The kids love him. So I can only say the highest of things about this guy, and he means a lot to me personally, but I know he means a lot to this club.
Those are all the questions we have. Thanks, Matt.
Thank you.